Queen Marchesa, human tribal with a secret commander.
Let's go. I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. New videos every day, always based on Magic the Gathering commander format. If you want to support all this stuff, you can go to Patreon, support us directly so we can keep our lights on. Because I hear that if we don't get a new patron every month at least, all of our appliances don't work.
Yeah, and that is really sad when that happens. And when you subscribe to our Patreon, we will love you as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. You can also support us with our IntoTheAM link. These are these awesome shirts you see us wearing every single episode.
Look at this guy.
Get them. Seriously, these are such cool, comfy shirts. Go get them. Use our link. 10% off and support the nerds.
That's just deal of the century, supporting your favorite channel and buying shirts for yourself and saving 10%. Also, Marchchiello sponsors this video. Guess where the ad's going to be? Because you're going to be wrong. And happy birthday to everyone's birthday is today, because we're still the only Magic channel that has ever acknowledged anyone's birthday.
If any sponsor actually watches the beginning of our videos, like they all claim to when they send us emails, you can sponsor the birthday and be in every video.
Yeah, the birthday sponsor.
Who wants to be the birthday sponsor?
Who wants to care about birthdays? What we care about right now is a Commander tune-up, where you, patrons, send us decks and we upgrade them based on your restrictions. This one is Closet Dobby, best name ever's, Queen Marchesa Human Tribal deck, and the only restriction for upgrading it is we're on a $400 budget when it comes to adding cards, but that's no problem for us.
Yeah, exactly. So $400 is a pretty ezy budget to hit. Obviously, we can add a lot of good stuff with $400. The other restriction was don't cut Elish Norn, don't cut Shieldred, and make sure we keep the secret commander theme, which is Winota. So before we hop into this, we got to read the actual commander, Queen Marchesa, and our secret commander, Winota.
Queen Marchesa is a 4-mana 3/3 that makes you the monarch, and when you're not the monarch, you get 1/1 assassins, which are critically not humans. They could be any race.
Yes, and Winota is a 4-mana 4/4, and whenever you attack with a non-human creature, you look at the top 6, put a human in, tapped and attacking, and it's indestructible. So we need non-humans and we need humans in this deck so that we can keep hitting, flipping, and doing Winota things. Queen Marchesa making those assassins going to be very important, like you said.
First thing we always do for these decks is talk about the best cards already in the deck, like Esper Sentinel. It's a human, and it's a white staple because it draws a bunch of cards.
Yeah, it's just an amazing card, period. Some other awesome humans we have in the deck. Yawgmoth, their Physician, is going to be some great card draw. It sacrifices and get rid of. We have a lot of ways to make little tiny tokens. One of my favorite combos of something that was already in this deck, Yawgmoth with Ophiomancer. That is a chef's kiss. That is draw a card every turn, put a -1/-1 counter on. That is so good.
And Species Specialist is here to draw a card whenever our humans die, but also just when humans die in general.
Yeah, the human count in this deck is 34. We got lots. So we're not missing on Winota triggers, and 2, Species Specialist is going to be hot fire.
We got Rick, Steadfast Leader. You know Rick. He's here to play Magic the Gathering, and he gives humans a bunch of abilities.
Yeah, he's Rick from The Walking Dead, loves Magic the Gathering, and he's here.
And by abilities, I mean +2/+2.
+2/+2, and it's a choice of 3 abilities, right?
Oh yeah, Rick.
Yeah, he gives. It's like
Rick. You know,
you choose 2 of the 3, and your humans all get that. Urza's Incubator was also in this deck. We have 34 humans. Reducing any number of them by 2 is going to be good, obviously.
Yeah, Aurelia the War Leader is not only one of our win conditions, but it is also a way to get double Winota triggers.
It is, because it gives us an extra combat, which is chef's kiss for the deck. And Dockside, Extortion, Smothering Tide, obviously some of the best cards in the deck. They're amazing. Dockside gets an extra boost in this deck, though.
Not a human.
Because it's a non-human, comes out early, so you can curve it out into Winota.
Oh yeah, those cards are good. There's nothing else to say. But now we got to go to the ads and the cuts. What do we add? What do we cut? We're giving you the play-by-play, every individual cut and every individual ad.
Yes, so first cut that we did was Generous Ferris Rockerick. The issue with this card was simple. There wasn't enough multicolored spells. There was 14, so it's like, well, obviously, General Ferris Rockerick is not good in this deck. So, in this place, added Sir Conrad, an awesome hit off of Winota, and this is going to be a pseudo-win con for the deck.
Yeah, one of the sub-themes, I guess, of this deck was Legendary Humans, and sorry, Closet Dobby, but I think to get the most out of this deck and really upgrade it, kind of got to really trim that theme. You can always pick your favorites and add them back in, but when you force yourself to play human tribal and Winota and also legendary humans, but with very limited payoffs, you just can't get the power that you're probably hoping for.
Yeah, very true. Very, very, very true. Though, in this case, we took out a legend and added a legend.
So far, we're even.
So far, we are even.
Let's see if we're even at the end.
But next, we cut, what is this thing? Isharith, the Awakener. This thing is just not a very good card. A card I'm probably never playing in any commander deck unless it's the commander itself. In its place, Opposition Agent, a much better human. I was kind of surprised this wasn't in the deck because I sorted, like what I did is I went to Scryfall and I was like, all right, human subtype in the colors we're playing. And it's like one of the top ones, Zopwood. Like, that has to be in the deck. So I checked and like, it's not.
Well, it's because there's too many legendary humans like Dao-Chan, Artful Beauty. We just went ahead and trimmed her for Blade Historian, which is sick. Double strike on all of our attackers means we can end the game way faster and with less creatures.
It's also surprise double strike because it's going to come off a Winota trigger very often.
Yeah, and it's a static, not a trigger.
You can send like 10 damage in and then, add a couple more things. Suddenly, it's like 30 damage because it all has double strike.
Yep. Odric, Lunarch Marshal, not even a bad card. I've been pretty high on this dude, but I don't think this deck has enough keywords for it. Marchesa having Death Touch and Haste are the main things we're going to be getting, and that's not that great. That doesn't make me feel like I'm getting away with anything.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be getting flying, double strike. These are the really good ones that I want to make sure my team's getting. Haste isn't a bad one.
Lifelink I want.
But I don't think it's the most necessary, especially considering the thing that we're trying to do is Winota this thing out. It's not good to Winota out, right? It doesn't do anything in that case.
So we had to keep her the Accord. It's just a white staple. It's helping us ramp, helping us get more non-human creatures in play.
Perfect. That's actually, that's the exact thing I was thinking is that non-humans is what this thing gives us that is like chef's kiss.
So far, we're doing pretty good.
Next, I cut Isha and Two Heavens as one. I know it works with Winota pretty well, but it's just so medium because with the rest of our cards, there's not that many attacks triggers. So in its place, Sarah Ascendant, I mean, this thing is
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, this thing is incredible. It's going to be a 6/6 lifelinker all the time, and we can cheat it in with Winota, or we can just cast it for 1 mana.
Especially since this deck seems a little bit stronger than some of the stuff we normally play. We're keeping in super mega staples, and we're adding some more, as you'll see. So Sarah Ascendant, I think, is a pretty good home in this deck. We cut King Makar the Gold Curse because this deck is doing none of that. This deck doesn't care about this card at all. But I like Combat Celebrant because it's double combat.
This card does the exact same thing that we get out of Aurelia, but this one is indeed a human.
Yes, and surprise Amber because she loves hearing about Quende, Pride of Femeref. Double strike on first strikers, but we don't really have first strikers. Let's just play Priest of Felrights instead so we can reanimate some late game creatures. Or if Winota dies, I'd like to be able to get her back.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main reason I put this on is because I want to be able to get back Winota in a couple of ways. And this is awesome because this card is a human for our human deck.
Yeah, Michiko Kanda, Truth Seeker. This is the one that makes you sacrifice permanents when you get hit, right?
Yeah, it is. I'm just not a fan of the card. Yeah,
I've never seen this be good.
It prevents attacks for a little bit, usually, but
maybe.
Even then, it's still I don't want to play this card. I'm not a fan of it at all.
We may have put in a better card.
We put in a much better card because this deck was a Secret Commander deck. And if you're going to play Secret Commander, something that is very, very, very important is tutors. You can't do Secret Commander without it. If it's a 1 out of 99, you're going to draw it some percentage of the games, but you want this thing every game. So Demonic Tutor, get in here. It's pretty simple. It's going to search up for our commander most of the time.
Yeah, Teysa Karlov is another cut. This one doubles death triggers, but what are we doing with that?
Yeah, exactly. There was sort of a little sub-theme on this Aristocrats, but I just cut it completely because it didn't really work.
We're really following our advice from a few videos ago, which is don't have too many sub-themes. It's let's just trim the fat a little bit, and then we can end up really strong and consistent on this Winota plan.
Yeah, exactly. And we had a Vampiric Tutor, just another way to search up our Secret Commander.
Nothing else to say.
Yeah, we also cut Whisper. Again, this was the sub-theme that we had going on where it's why are we this weird aristocrat deck when we're trying to be a Winota deck, we're trying to be a human deck, we're trying to do all these other things. Let's get it out of here, and in its place, gamble another way to search up our commander.
Yep, Jadar, Ghoul Caller of Nephalia. It makes non-humans, but its body is basically irrelevant. I wasn't a huge fan of this guy. In the place, we added another Winota target to... Well, another Winota attacker that finds humans because it's Sun Titan. So not only can we get back a land or get back a creature, we could just trigger an attack with 6 and then get a little human coming out.
Yeah, and on top of that, there is a ton of 1/3 or less permanents. There's also, this deck was all the fetch lands. So Sun Titan gets an extra oomph when you have every fetch land you can have in the deck.
Mm-hmm. What about General's Enforcer as a cut?
General's Enforcer is just, I do think decks want Graveyard Hate. I don't think this was the kind of Graveyard Hate you want, though, because...
As far as I know, this was the only payoff for having legendary creatures.
Yeah, but I'm just not a fan of this card overall. I think giving your stuff indestructible is okay, but also the part that I don't like is 4 mana to make one thing and exile from the graveyard. Give me real Graveyard Hate in my deck.
So Indestructible is not that good. What do we add?
Well, we added something that works a lot better for the Indestructible because it's Selfless Spirit. Not only can you protect your team once, just like the General, it's the same thing. You always get one protection of it because if they wipe the board, the General is going away. So it's the same exact concept, but this is 2 mana flyer. Non-human, meaning it'll trigger Winota.
Yeah, I can take the Monarchy back too because that is something we're going to have every single game.
And if you didn't think we were memesters, we're memesters because...
I was questioning this a lot, and I'm still going to not stand by it.
We cut Pitiless Plunderer from the deck because...
More Aristocrats.
We just didn't have enough of this Aristocrat stuff and added in its place half meme, half it's okay in the deck. It's Grave Titan, our favorite card of all time.
Just for you, Closet Dobby.
Yeah, it's mostly a meme. It's medium always, but it is okay in this deck. It does make 3 bodies, which is 3 triggers for Winota.
If you're not memeing, I would say just cut Grave Titan and throw General's Enforcer back in. But if you want to meme a little bit and make people question whether the Nitpicking Nerds actually upgraded your deck, put Grave Titan in.
Yeah, put Grave Titan in. That's right. Grave Titan has been suggested in an official video by Nitpicking Nerds for
This is
a
an
deck.
early April Fool's prank.
Got him. Next, we cut Vanquisher's Banner. It's okay, but it's clunky. It's kind of slow. Not a huge fan of it overall. And we want to be cheating in our humans a lot, so we're not casting them, so we're not getting the card draw.
Yeah, another thing is that we're not 100% human tribal. So it's not like we're playing 45 humans. A chunk of them are just non-humans, so we don't get the full advantage. It's close. It's close.
Yeah, I think it's a good cut considering the idea is to cheat them out. In its place, Painful Truce, just going to be 3 mana, draw 3, lose 3 life. Pretty simple.
It's not flashy, but this deck did need some card draw, and I want it a little bit faster than pay 5 mana, wait a turn.
Yeah, going into the Mana Rock section here of adds and cuts, there's these random 3 Mana Rocks, and they felt really clunky. It was really out of place. So we cut Commander Sphere. We also cut Cursed Mirror. Those 2 just felt clunky and not right for this deck. In its place, we added Talisman of Hierarchy and Talisman of Conviction. But beside them, we added Talisman of Indulgence as well. And the cut for that one was Phyrexian Altar. Now, this one is really strange, I know, because it's such a great magic card, and it fits in this deck. But it's like, we're not on the Aristocrats theme. We're not comboing. We can just get it out of here.
Got to trim that sub-theme. Talismans, I was surprised to see none of. This deck has Mana Crypt and Soul Ring, by the way. But Talismans are so crucial when your commander is Queen Marchesa. You want that thing on turn 3 every single time.
Up next, cut Black Market Connections. I'm not that high on this card, and I just don't like it. It also doesn't make non-humans. If it made non-humans, I'd be interested. But these are changelings. They're all creature types, meaning they're humans, and they won't trigger our Winota. If it would, I would have kept it.
Yeah, the card's okay. I think if you're going to add... It's like, if you want more card draw, you could add it after we've already increased the amount of card draw. If you want more than that, I guess you could add it back. But we added Snow-Covered Mountain instead because we needed to make room for more lands in this deck. Thought we were a little bit light, so the next few cuts and adds are going to be lands.
Yeah, this was 32 lands with 3 MDFCs. I wanted to go up to at least 34 with the 3 MDFCs. This deck has a lot of clunk in it. We also cut Swiftfoot Boots. Pretty easy cut.
Doesn't really seem like a Swiftfoot Boots deck to me. We don't really care what happens to Queen Marchesa, and we obviously want Winota, but she doesn't need haste.
She doesn't need haste. Her ability essentially has haste for everything that's already on the battlefield.
And once you play it and then go to attacks, you're going to get a bunch of triggers. What more can you ask for? How many more triggers do you need before you just win?
Yeah, in its place, Snow-Covered Swamp, Field of the Dead deck, baby, so we got to have those.
Yeah, Field of the Dead in here. Should have listed it as the very best card in the deck.
2 cuts from this deck. We cut Sunlit Marsh, which is a tapped fetchable land. This deck has duels. This deck has shocks.
And off-color fetches, too.
And off-color fetches. We do not need a Sunlit Marsh. Fetid Heath, also get out of here. Again, we just don't need to go this deep into the pool of, it's playable, but we don't need to go this deep into the pool. In the place of those cards, we added in a Plains and a Swamp.
Plains count is a little bit low for Keeper of the Accord, but we are really happy if we get any tokens off of it. And we're still going to get some Plains. We don't need to get that many more than 1.
Yeah, 3 Plains is a lot. You're going to be caught up on lands by that point. Plaza of Heroes, I just don't think this card is that good. In its place, Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, just perfectly fits us for black the whole game.
Yep. As we know, our budget was $400, but we only spent $207.50 on all these upgrades.
Damn, we're good.
So that's pretty good for you, Closet Dobby. We just saved you $193. Original average mana value of this deck was 3.19, which is fair. And the new average mana value, though, is 2.82 because we just make everything better and cheaper. And now the deck's going to run 0.4 mana smoothly.
That's English. And the total number changes, 22. This deck is pretty cool overall. Winota is definitely a necessity. You might even want to add more tutors if you're not seeing Winota in enough games, because this deck is honestly made to take advantage of the Winota.
Yeah, if you really don't want to play tutors, you can just cut them all, I guess, and then throw back in the Enforcer and Black Market Connections, and then have some fun with Vanquisher's Banner.
Yeah, and if you like Nitpicking Nerds videos, why don't you go check out 5 cards you're missing out on. Peace out, Tribe Scout.
5 cards?